I must say that I'm happy to be here once again, hosting Back to Basics, your favorite show. My name is Moses, as usual, and I'm your host of Back to Basics, live on Bethan TV for Health. This show always comes your way from Monday to Friday, 10 to 11, and remember it brings topics, we discuss topics, issues that really touch our lives. We bring experts into the studio, onto the show, and experts help us to dissect and understand some of the concepts of life. Knowledge is power, and yes, that's what we believe in. Here at Back to Basics, we bring things back to the first principles, understand them, and live a healthy life only on Bethan TV for Health. You're very much welcome, and I'm delighted once again to have you on board. Like Bethan TV is live on GoTV, free to air, and also on different social media platforms, Twitter or X, as you can call it, streaming live on YouTube, and also you can get it on www.bethantv.eug. On the tab Watch Live, you will definitely be hooked to this program, and you won't miss any inch or any word of it. But not also forget that you can get into this program when you use mobile applications, YoTV, Airtel TV, and AfroMobile app. This is Bethan TV, and this is Back to Basics. In the studio, like I had mentioned, that we bring to you experts and professionals and people who are passionate about what they are talking about. So today, in the studio, I'm happy to welcome Rosemary Chibuka Muyengo. She has other more names. She has thanked me because I've mentioned the names right. Yes, yeah. Rosemary. Happy to have you again. And Rosemary is a counseling psychologist and works with children. She speaks passionately about children. And you know, that's the age where you cannot afford to miss in their growth and development. Exactly. You must get it right. And they always say, get it right first time, and you have got it right the rest of your life.
Exactly.
So thank you very much for joining us. This is the second time, Rosemary.
Yes.
And I'm very, very much privileged to have you around.
Most privileged.
And you can go ahead and first greet the viewers.
Thank you so much.
And then we'll continue with today's program.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Good evening, viewers. I'm so delighted being here with you. I'm so glad being here, sharing healthy issues with Moses, and helping the world, coming up for the young children, you know, bringing out views that can really help parents, teachers, and everyone to help our learners out there. I'm so delighted. Once again, good evening, viewers. We love you so much. Bethan TV, as always, we are here to support you. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. Before I introduce the topic for tonight,
yes,
I know you work with schools, and the term is ending, right?
Yes.
I know last week most parents were talking about speech day.
Oh my God.
Graduation. For even from top to
everywhere.
I've been seeing some groups, people complaining, and the parents throw graduation parties at whatever level. Definitely, I won't say much, and I should reserve my comments.
Yes.
Though I'm okay with everything. Like, you should celebrate every milestone as you get it. Yes. Exactly. So what is some experience that at least that you've gone through for this term as we close the term, before I bring the topic for today?
Oh, okay. For this term, what I've really shared with my learners, students, and the young ones is I've realized most of them are not listened to. In all the sessions we have, these learners will keep on complaining. Mommy doesn't listen, daddy doesn't listen, excuse me, and the teachers don't listen. Even when they come up to say something, nobody's there to give them a listening ear. And even if they are there, they will not properly give them the listening ear.
Wow.
Okay? It will not critically, the conversation will not be, how can I call it? They will not have a good conversation. Yes, with the teachers. They will not have the good conversation with the parents because they are young ones always. So nobody's there to listen to them. And this is a very big problem.
It is.
So if it is a problem, that means there is a huge gap between the learners and the parents, the learners and the teachers. So where are the learners left?
Hanging.
They're hanging. So the communication is not effective totally. It's not effective. However much the parents will think it is effective, it will never be effective.
It will never be effective.
Yes. So that's the major problem we are having.
That you have.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for raising that. And actually your experience speaks directly to the topic this evening. Because everyone seeks to be understood. But the way you've shared that experience, it seems like it's kind of a one-way from the older people who are the parents and teachers giving instructions to this young one who doesn't get a chance to be heard. And I think that's a very big problem. And ladies and gentlemen, that speaks directly to our topic this evening, communication gaps in children. We all seek to be heard at whatever levels, whether it's young, or old, or between peer to peer, or older to young, or young to old. I think everyone seeks to be understood and understood clearly. But definitely, we find this is not the case. There's a lot of breakdown. And like she has shared, it's something that must be addressed if we are to live amicably. But tonight, we are focusing specifically the gaps that exist when different groups of people, especially those that deal with children directly, are communicating to them. So you're very much welcome. Stay hooked as Rosemary and I discuss and engage in a discussion of understanding communication gaps in children. Just to bring everyone to bring everyone in to get aligned with what we're talking about.
Yes.
Communication, when we are mentioning the word communication, Rosemary.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
Normally people will bring in different views about communication.
Yes.
But when we come to the actual bits of the communication, we are talking about the sending of messages, receiving, interpreting, you get, understanding it. How am I getting what you are telling me, Moses? How am I interpreting it? How am I analyzing it? And how are you getting to know that I have really understood what you are telling me? It's not a one-way thing. It has to be a double-edged thing. You understand me, you send information, I understand it. Then if I reply you back, have you really got what I am talking about? You get into the depth of it.
Yeah.
How do you understand what I am talking about? How do you perceive it? Am I bringing it out very well that you can really get it very fast? How am I blending it? Which voice am I using? We are dealing with learners, children, okay?
Yes.
These are children. How do you talk to the children? Do they really understand you? Or do you really use complicated vocabularies to these children and you really want them to understand you?
And you want them to understand.
Where are we?
You know that there are some teachers who, when they would be teaching, they would choose words which are strong because they wanted to impress the learners.
This is a problem. It's a problem, exactly.
So you're saying it's simple.
Yes.
Sending, receiving, there's interpretation, and then feedback.
Simple.
Simple as that.
It is as simple as that. And then we, the adults, come up and complicate everything. We twist everything, you know? You bring a complicated word, give it to a child, and then you expect this child to understand you. Really?
And when they don't, those are issues. We'll definitely look at what happens if those gaps are there in the society between those groups of people.
Exactly.
But as we continue, what's communication? How in our society especially, how do we see modes and types of communication, especially in those groups of learners? How is it done? You've experienced it in schools, also in our families.
Yes, in our families.
What are some of the types that...
At times when you get back to the... Well, let us get back to our families, Moses.
Yes.
During those days, mommy and daddy.
Yeah, and that's back to basics, definitely. That's
back to basics.
Which and then
daddy will come.
Yes.
Jagala, you know,
hey,
I want this. This should be done. You get it?
Yes.
He even doesn't know what you go through to do all that. Communicating. How is he communicating? What mode is he using? The tone.
You know, first they would even instill fear in you.
Exactly, they instill that fear in you. And
Rosemary, come, the fear alone.
They'll run away.
Yes.
Okay.
And there is when after like sending you for something, mentioning things, go do this, do that, then he calls you again and said, what have I said? But because of that toughness,
you start panicking.
You can't even remember what you are saying.
You cannot even answer him. Yes. You know, at times, parents have to calm down and they understand what modes should they use. What mode of communication should they use with these children? At times, these modes are going to push them away. Okay?
Yeah.
How are you communicating? What tone are you using? What verbal language are you using? Yes. Don't expect your child to move out and display something else that is different from the family. Always, this child is always going to do the same thing. The mode. This child is copying from
what you're doing.
And this child will always go in class and display what she gets from home. Mode already agitute. Talking the jigan. The teacher will only and only read this child's communication, and the teacher will determine where she comes from. Simple. Gojja kujja n'amakootiko in school ozze ku monitoringa kola ki. Teacher ajja kutunira agambe, okay, you're not daddy way. The teacher will relate. Omwana na communicating atya. You get? Because in most cases, these children will pick whatever they communicate from home.
And actually even the words talk about
the words. It. If you're vulgar, this child is going to be vulgar throughout school.
In families where you find the word please, help me is not there.
It's not there.
Even when a child is asking a pen from a friend, you just grab.
Yes, it's not there.
Pack pen.
Mommy, I want to buy this. Oh, okay. You can't keep on wanting. You get it?
Yes.
That what abana balina okutegeera. Want, request, those small words. We need to bring them out in our right away from home. I want you people to do this. The want is already going into the brain.
There. It's becoming a family culture. And in whatever they do, whether it's theirs or not, it will be want.
And when this child comes to school, probably this child wants to communicate to mommy. Ayagala genda wa administrator yena to ask for a phone. Ajja kujja. Please teacher so and so. I want the phone. Olaba ka want yako later. What do you want? I want the phone. You get?
So the teacher will end up denying a phone.
because of
just that language, of that
language,
verbal
but
phrase.
the language is speak
and
from,
yet the child was genuinely asking and to be helped with the phone.
The child is
so that's
innocent,
a gap, definitely,
because
yes.
it's a communication gap whereby the child doesn't know what to say, and she is speaking whatever she's saying from home.
From home.
Ochiraba. And
innocently.
Innocently, I want. So we need to bring up these children very well right away from home. Then even the teachers, you need to correct the learners. Omwana wajjana ngamba I want. Muterezo mugambe, no, it's not all about wanting. You are requesting, or you would like. Okalaba. Butonyo. And then we have parents who always back at the learners, at the children. Okay.
Yes.
Era ono omwana agenda kuba backing all the time. This child tajja kuba because yaloza it is normal.
It's okay.
It's the communication way he should use. It's very normal. So at times nakyo kituleetera obuzibu. Okay. Kakati awo we find problems with these learners naye nga ziva kuba parents and at times even the teachers in class. How is the teacher teaching?
Yeah.
What language is the teacher using? You are this.
And you see at that age it's when they are learning. Whatever they see,
it goes to the brain.
It goes to the brain and that's what
probably mommy at home and daddy have tried to bring out the good communication. And then probably the communication is failed at the school level. Kubanga jasinga okutekinga time. Yes. So wabanga jasinga okutekinga time. The teachers that are in school, what language do they use? What mode of communication do they use? You get? The teacher may effectively communicate at a certain time, but the body language. Have you seen those teachers who come in class, and then they'll shake their bodies, roll the eyes, and then you live in fear to go and ask this teacher anything.
We had a mathematics teacher in primary.
Oh my God.
By mere standing somewhere and you see.
You start shaking.
You start shaking. Mathematics.
Hey, I'm telling you.
And it's as if it was like that. Whoever would teach like mathematics like you're supposed to be. And then the softer ones was SST. English.
Those ones are very good. The English teachers.
Yes, English teachers.
Yes, would love them.
But mathematics, like, and they would be proud, like, the other one can't manage mathematics because he's not tough. So
any mathematics teacher coming in would make the whole class silent.
Yes.
And then the English teacher will come, can you please keep quiet? And you know? So at times we need to look at all that. The body language, the attitudes, you know. You come in and you'll never smile at the learners. Tunakwagala tutya gwe teacher. You get, you need to bring the learners closer to yourself. But if you're so tough, they will never. You have communicated to them. So they will not.
You've not said it, but that's the implication.
It is enough.
To Munsembere.
Exactly. The perception they are getting, information is getting back. He has not said it, but he has depicted it.
But then now that's a dilemma, Rosemary, because imagine the teachers. Now there's that distance created between them and the learners. Also, this applies to parents. So these learners, they need help sometimes, maybe emotional support, or they want to air out something, but there's that gap already created. Don't you think it's a problem now for that child, for that learner, to approach a teacher and say, I'm going through this?
It is a very big problem. And this learner will never, I'm telling you, because they normally run to us. And they'll tell you, because this teacher behaves like this, I cannot go there.
I cannot.
Yes. So how do you expect this learner to perform at the end of the day? You are a teacher, you have targets. Okay?
Yes.
And then you are already putting a gap between you and the learner. You have not said it, you have displayed it.
Same applies to parents.
Exactly.
You've not said it,
Banange, Zendiko Rush, Temo Tawanya, don't disturb me. Even when this child wants to tell you something that happened in school,
you've blocked.
You've already blocked. Even when she runs, Mommy, can I run to you and tell you something?
What? You're blocking.
You're blocking.
That window, and you know, these children can have windows. They open up a window and they see they want to communicate something.
Exactly.
So when you
fold it,
they will close it.
They will close it totally, and they will look for someone else to unfold the window.
The window.
This is when you see some children, some students getting into addiction. Why do you think so? The addicts are already embracing them. Come, you're our friend. Come, let us share. And then for you, no, I don't have space for you. You get? So we have to create this space at home as parents. We have to create this space for the learners as teachers. And we have to create this space for the learners, even for the religious leaders. Several waliwo ba religious leaders nga tomusemberera. You get? These learners really want to go to these religious leaders and they cannot.
Because there is a gap already.
There is a gap. Mukuru nnyo. Pastor tabamala gamusemberera. Tomala gajja. You get? Ono mwana ayina ekizibu ayagala genda wa pastor, wa father, wa sheikh.
Even dads.
Even dads. The communication is not there. This child has failed at home. The child has failed at school. And this child is looking for a religious leader probably. Naye munnange ebitiibwa. You shouldn't come. But now where is communication going? We need to give them a listening ear.
Listening ear. And you know the children are always watching and learning. Wow. We will continue we'll continue to discuss more about some of the factors that lead to communication gaps, but for now, we'll take a very short break and we will be back. We are happy to have you once again here as we discuss about communication gaps, especially in children, taking references from these groups of people that are in lives of these children, especially parents and teachers. We are trying to see what are some of the communication gaps that exist. And like I had introduced in the beginning, that it's very important to get things right, especially when children are still young, such that you give them a very good upbringing and a very good future when dealing with issues, when dealing with people and living in the community. And in the studio, I'm with Rosemary, who is a counseling psychologist, but above all, works passionately with children in schools, helping them and supporting them, listening to them. And listening is very important. Like she had mentioned that it's as if people have this kind of thinking that children are not supposed to be listened to.
Exactly.
They are too young to express themselves, and therefore things are just flowing from them from the groups like teachers, parents and guardians to the children, but not the reverse. Exactly. So making communication just one way.
It is one-way traffic.
It's one way. And then they close that window. The window where if a child comes and say, Mommy or Daddy, you know there is this friend of mine at school who normally, and before even he mentions, you are like,
Don't tell me you're nonsense.
Yes.
She will never come back.
She will never come back.
She will never.
Maybe you find that's the window where she wants to tell you that this boy is touching her in bad parts.
And now you don't even want.
Yes. You've closed it.
Yes, you've totally closed it. In fact, even to some parents, not even parents, most people. Do you know, Moses, if somebody talks about death, you'll be like, don't even say anything. Whenever somebody's talking about death, at times these children are going through bereavement processes.
Yes.
And when she starts talking about death, they'll be like, stop your nonsense. They are covering. And this child will fold for life. But this child is struggling with something very dangerous.
Very dangerous.
Yes. So we need to
listen.
To listen. Listen at least. Give them time, listen to everything. Let them listen to everything. Normally, counselors, we normally refer to ourselves as dustbins of problems, you know.
Yes.
They keep on pouring. So you put the listen, we have the third ear. So parents out there have the third ear. Teachers out there have the third ear for these learners. Yeah.
Thank you very much. As we continue to discuss the factors that are responsible for these communication gaps, especially in children, I just want to remind the viewers and the listeners that Bethan Santa Omugabi this Christmas will be there to show you love, listening to you, like we are saying, and then giving you hampers full of goodies. So you just have to keep tuned into Bethan TV programs, and the moment you spot Bethan Santa Omugabi, you call in and you say, hello, Bethan Santa, definitely, and you'll be able to enter into a draw, Bethan Santa Live, that will help you or enable you to win some of the Christmas hampers, and they will put a smile on your face. As we continue, Rosemary, what brings communication gaps? What are some of the factors that actually bring communication gaps?
And normally, the factors that lead to the communication gaps are just around us. We move with them. Okay? When you look in different families, these factors are already there. Okay? The empathy. Parents are not empathetic. Teachers are not empathetic. They don't want to know. Imagine if you were that child and you wanted to communicate to somebody. Have the empathy. If I'm stepping into this child's shoes,
excuse me.
If I'm stepping into this child's shoes, what would I be? The empathy is lacking. We don't care.
Don't care. So the child appears in class without maybe enough books.
Tayagala kumanya mama. Normally, my students will tell you, you know, counselor, these parents of nowadays, they don't give a damn.
If you don't have a mathematical set, please move out.
The teachers don't give a damn.
Or stand up, those who don't have, and
move out. You have not even bothered to know why doesn't this child have a mathematical set. Oh no, man, but try.
And again, you're adding more problems.
You're adding more problems.
Who's making them stand for others to see?
You're already shaming them.
If you know you have not
completed
fees, if you have not completed fees, put up your arms.
Bakulabisa. Bakulabisa, you know? And it really affects them. Yeah. So if the empathy is not there, the communication gap is going to be there. Then we have the cultural differences. You get?
Yes.
Mami Muganda, Daddy Munyankoli. Okay?
Hope you're not talking about me.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about where I got married. Mami ajja kugamba, Mami will tell you, Tula bulungi ng'omukyala Omuganda. And then Daddy will come and tell you, Shtamaha. Shtamaha. And then you will sit down. Communication.
Yes, so that's very interesting.
The child will not understand what is what.
Yeah.
You get? Mami ayogera kirala, Daddy ayogera kirala. You get?
Maybe you're all right culturally.
Yes, you're all right. But this child, the confusion is there. Okay? So that is where the problem is. So at times the child is told something different at school, and then when this child goes back home, the parents want to bring in something different. And then at times the child will tell you, my teacher told me. Normally their teachers are very right. Mommy, my teacher said this is this. And then you start having problems.
You start having problems.
Cultural differences. Okay.
So talking about that, I think it's very important. For example, if you're Christian family maybe, and their Christian values. Even schools, you should look for schools with such values to continue the alignment.
Yes.
Otherwise, you might where you say respect elders, the other side we are all equal.
And even as you say respect elders, and then the child will keep on asking, where are the elders? You know?
What is respect?
She knows you are an elder, but that respect.
Show respect.
Show respect. Where is the respect? Where is it? Where do they get respect from to show daddy? Don't you know your father? Can't you show me some respect? She will look around to look for respect.
Like a toy.
Like a toy, like a shoe, you know? So we need to tone down our language and talk to these learners. Tell them, what is respect? How do they show respect? You get
is love.
What is love? Exactly. You have to bring it out right away from A. But we come up and capture it from G, and we expect them to capture it from A to Z. Which is quite impossible. Okay? So we need to come back and know chichi echireta chi.
From first principles.
Once you have not done it, ngomwana no toddler, ngomwana no agenze mu kindergarten, and then you want her to do the best mu primary oba mu high school. Techisoboka. Tochikoze, and then the teachers baba receiving bamanya at least values ezisooka ozikoze eki ozikozeeko, and then gwe obakasukidde bo bakoleko, and yet they have a pile of things.
Other kids, other
what
children.
Do you expect them to do? No. The matrons are suffering out there. High school, they are battling with learners. Omwana nga ali awo kisasalala. And then the matrons are battling. And then when they talk to the parents are like, hey, I thought Momo yigiriza. Then what was your job as a mother? You get? Katula olaba gap says weziva. Do you see? Daddy ye yawasa omukyala ayigiriza abaana. And then gwe mama olese omukozi. Is the mukozi going to do everything? And then mama, as you move on with these children, probably you're going to church, you're going to visit, as these children are shame you out there.
You beat.
Really? But you know kubiwa? Are they supposed to be beaten?
No. So the cultural differences.
Cultural differences.
Musajja mulala
mama mulala.
Nate ne mama alese omukozi
webale nnyo.
Naye nga mulala.
N'omukozi naye nga mulala nnyo.
Naye nga mulala.
And then you sick of you there. And then mama, you don't have the time. Okay? And then we also have the religious differences.
Yes.
Waliwo obuzibu. Musiraamu mu Catholic. Tugenza okulya emmere. And then you're supposed to us. How do they say it? Balina ekigambo kye boogerawo nga bagenda okulya. Kati daddy awo waya zivaako bw'aba musiraamu agamba communication gap. Mama bw'omanya ofumbiddwa mu basiraamu leka omwana abeere muki? Musiraamu fully. Okay?
Kati mwe babiri abakulu mbeera mu, like you have that struggle, that fight, that battle of differences, religious differences, naye nga mwerabidde omwana.
Kati ono mumwerabira. Kati mwemulemererwa. You cannot settle your issues.
Waliwo abalaba
wali. Kati yena atandika okubeera mu kavuyo.
Kati asobola n'okuyiya ebibye
najja natuuka n'okugamba counselor, I don't know where I belong. Sense of belonging nejja waawo. Ogiraba? Tamanyi.
Because there's someone, either is a guest I hosted, psychologist, who told me about that when a child fails to get an answer from the people he or she looks up to, a mother, a father, the nearby, tarekerawo agatawo answer ye agatawo.
That's where the problem comes in. Kati answer yo jagatawo awo teacher najja ne mama najja bonna ne bajja ne batandika blaming factor nejjawo.
Blaming
omwana blaming the wrong. Tategere. Oyo gwe mulaba mumusanga mbalokole. Oyo gwe mulaba ne basiraamu. Oyo gwe mulaba ne, you know, this child is not to blame. It is the parent. okitegeera kati awo gap already ebezze ate gap bwejjejja n'ebizibu byayo kati bwemutandika omublaming omwana ono self esteem ngejja ng'atandika ng'agamba okay ng'akoyilinga yes ng'asirikira ddala taddamu bbi bagamba ng'atandika n'okwebba probably agenda mu balokole nga yebbe wali ekidongo ate mu katuli ne sapuli agiina agenda eri okiraba so ezo gaps zijja olw'ebintu bingi excuse me and then we have the perception factor n'olaba omwana and then you perceive this child negatively all the time gwe atategeera gwe osemba mu class you're always the last you're always I even don't know what to say that word
waroje nasoma comment omusomesa ya like wrote on a student's paper because she got low marks and then namugamba how can't you can't even manage a home because she was a girl.
Can you imagine?
so you can imagine
a home at that time. Wanji. You can manage it. Ochira kati already achitadde mu bwongo bw'omwana. This child has already picked it up and it has stuck on the brain. It will be hard for this child to think of getting married at a certain point because this teacher has already showed this child you can never manage a home. Ochiraba. And this we buno obuntu abazadde olulaga. Yegwe olifumbirwa gwe will you ever get married? Nabo buchafu bo. I even wonder oyo mwana she's going to avoid marriage.
Because if the mother has reassured her,
assurance.
You expect this is the mother.
Perception amulabi mwecho you get. So at times notuya n'ogamba bannange I don't know. Parents should mind about what they say. Teachers should mind about what they say. Caretakers at home should mind about what they say. Parents are doing they can do their job. The parents can, the teachers can do their job, and then we have the caretakers. Aba abantu balina ebigambo. Ayinza okugambira omwana we ekigambo.
Wa bijawa.
Babisoma ndo. Nah, chikas come and then you're like, and it will traumatize your child for the rest of her life.
And you see, because they come into their lives when they are young.
When they are young.
These children, they kind of look up to caretakers right away. And you know, so parents, us also, our time with the kids is not all that good.
Yes.
Work, we're busy, so you find most of the time the caretakers are actually there with the children. They bathe them, they do everything feed them.
For them.
Definitely find this how the child is kind of connected.
I have a child who came and told me she's in P3.
Yes.
And then she told me, Counselor, I hate my body. And then I told her, why do you hate your body? And then she told me, our auntie at home told me that I have a very bad shape. When she was showering me, she told me, I have a very bad shape. And this girl will always shy away. Uniform ajikwata bwati.
Kumbe caretaker ya mugamba.
And then the matron was keep on telling me, when for your man I had to sobera. Then I called her, tried to talk to her, probed more. Not until she told me that. Kati chava da caretaker ya mulaga nti. Bodeyo. She sits in class, but she's minding about her body. She doesn't even want to stand up and give an answer. Perception. You see? Kati ebintu ng'ebyo bye bituleetedde gaps ezo z'olaba. Okay? Abaana baffe ne babeeranga very psychologically tortured, emotionally tortured. N'atuuka mu class and then the teachers will battle. Asomesa omwana nga nothing is going there. Nothing. Totally nothing. And then even the cognitive. Abazadde olumu tebamanyi omwana owange ono muzadde ntya development ebadde etya. At times tuyina abaana nga bakwata mpola. Katinga, even when you talk about something, this child's brain will try to memorize it at a slow rate. It's not. Communication gap away. Injakala, do this, do this, do this, do this. She's only getting only one. Ochidaba, kubango bade fast. Cognitive. There is a population, a communication gap there. Even the teachers in class.
Either she's disobedient.
Disobedient. You don't respect teachers.
Big-headed.
You are adamant.
He had not yet processed the things because that's the speed of his processing.
Chovola, in schools, we tell the teachers, we normally ask the teachers, at times you need to get back, follow up the trend of the performance of these learners. Why is this child always among the last 10? Communication gap, as administrators,
yes.
Why is this teacher not hitting his targets? Communication gap.
So, Rosemary, as we try to conclude,
yes,
I see it's very, very insightful because the things we're talking about, when you even close eyes, you see them happening in the society. Just in a line or two, what should we done? What should the parents and teachers, as we conclude, what do you advise so we can try to minimize some of these gaps?
In a nutshell,
yes.
Parents, teachers, caretakers, listen to these learners. Let them bring them closer to yourselves. Give them time. Even when they are bringing out trash, listen to that trash. You're going to pick something out of it.
Yes.
Engage them in whatever is being done. Let them know how you feel. You should know how they feel. Probe more. What should we do? How do you feel? What do you think should be done? What can we do? Get involved. Normally these learners prefer seeing we, the parents and the teachers, being involved in activities with them. Yes, as that boy touched you, what do you think we should do? I want you to call him. Let him come here. Ochidaba,
yes.
That means it is true 100%.
Okay.
Okay, so bring them closer. Have a third ear for them. That ear is going to help you a lot.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Rosemary. How about for that parent or someone or caretaker who is seeing some behaviors he is not understanding and would want your help? Last time you left your number. I think we'd be happy if you'd leave it. You never know, someone out there may want the help of a professional counselor to support.
So our dear viewers, for those who would like my help, you can get me on MTN, that is 772-927-048. Then Airtel is 0701-927-048. For my email, it's rosemarymoyengo@gmail.com. You can get me at any time.
Okay, thank you very much. Has been Rosemary and I, Moses, on Back to Basics, here live on Bethan TV for Health. Getting to basics is the only way how we can try to put things in order, and it only happens on Back to Basics here on Bethan TV for Health. For now, have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye.